Let's look at monitoring, and one of the most useful reports is the IPSLA chart. You can find it on Config IPSLA or Monitoring IPSLA Summary. This was introduced from Orchestrator 9.3 onwards. For each IPSLA row, you'll see a charts icon which you can click and see each poll that was made plotted over time. As with many reports, you can choose from real-time, 1 or 4 hours, 1 or 7 days, or a custom time range, and see data for latency or loss. There is a graph per breakout policy, per interface label, and per overlay or service. You can see real-time data, but for historical stats, you'll need to go to Orchestrator, Stats Collector Config, and enable New Stats Collection. This requires Orchestrator version 9.1 or later. For small deployments of less than 200 appliances, you can simply click this button, and that's all you need to do to start collection of IPSLA stats. For more information about enabling the Distributed Stats Collector feature, search Enable Distributed Stats Collector. Troubleshooting now, and the first sign might be an alarm being raised. An IPSLA monitor is in the down state, is seen if all IPSLA destinations for a WAN interface label are down. You can do some basic troubleshooting to verify operation by looking at monitoring flows. Tick Include Built-in, select Protocol ICMP. You should see something like this. 3 or more flows going pass-through unshaped and with packets in both directions. If you only see one direction, either the destination is not responding or the probes are being dropped in transit. You can also see the same thing by opening a CLI session or SSH to the appliance and running TCP dump. Traceroute may be helpful if upstream firewalls permit ICMP. For any FQDN destinations, verify you can resolve and reach them by pinging the destination. For example, ping sp-ipsla.silverpeak.cloud. This tests DNS resolution and ICMP reachability in a single command. You'd be alerted to a DNS issue by the alarm DNS resolution for one of the IPSLA targets failed. Verify DNS using the ping command in the previous example, and if all DNS queries are failing, check it's been configured correctly on Administration DNS or in the templates. Also check UDP port 53 is open through any upstream firewalls. Check the configured IPSLA has the correct DNS name present and there are no typos in the FQDN. Also verify the DNS flow in monitoring flows is being handled correctly, not dropped by policy or routed somewhere unexpectedly. From version 9.6, if the new route labels feature has been configured and one of them is down, you'll see the alarm route label is down. If you examine monitoring flows and find that a flow hasn't taken the route you expected, find the route in Config Routes, where you'll see a column called Label. If a route is down due to an IPSLA rule, it will show the label name and status, for example, Internet and down in brackets. IPSLA works in much the same way for SSE cloud services. The main difference is they are configured separately. When you go to Config Cloud Services HPE SSE or any of the other service providers, you'll find each has its own IPSLA button. When troubleshooting IPSLA for SSE services, you'll need to examine the IPSLA settings for the relevant service. There are a couple of unique troubleshooting nuances to be aware of. For third-party IPSec tunnels, IPSLA monitors for availability just like it does for Internet breakout pass-through tunnels, but it also monitors the state of the IPSec SA, and will proactively initiate a rekey or even tear down and rebuild the tunnel if there is no activity from the remote peer at all. You can observe this in the appliance event or messages log. Here's what a rekey would look like. And this is an example of a complete tunnel rebuild. If, however, the tunnel is good, but the pass through the tunnel to the IPSLA destination fails to respond, you'll see a log like this. The other point to mention is, for cloud service providers, where the default IPSLA rule points to gateway.provider.net or similar, IPSLA will monitor that destination but not beyond. If the monitored destination responds, but there is a problem beyond it, you could conceivably end up with a black holing situation. If this happens, you may want to reconfigure your IPSLA and add a known good internet-based destination, such as sp-ipsla.silverpeak.cloud. Lastly, there are some CLI commands that may help your troubleshooting process. Show IP tracking IPSLA IPDebug. This provides much more information about the individual ICMP probes. HTTP debug is the same as IPDebug, but for the TCP probes using HTTP or HTTPS. And IPSLA debug gives you some more general stats useful for our TAC team. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.